So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. My name is Carla. I'm a product designer. I learned Rhino when I was at university, and since then I've been teaching it to my colleagues, to my friends. I've been taking Rhino to the companies that I work with, and I never thought that I was going to end up working for McNeil. I'm super happy. I love the product and it's amazing community. So today I'm lucky because I have part of my team with me, and I have Delia and Bernat. They will be helping me with the chat. So feel free to ask any question during the session. I will try to make it short, like probably I have like a content for an hour. But of course, we can stop, we can answer questions and make this more like a conversation. My team is from the McNeil Europe office. And what else? So I'm really happy to be doing this webinar. Last year was a really difficult one, was a challenging one. So I'm trying to create this kind of virtual bridges to connect with you, to know what you are doing, what do you need, and probably prepare more content for you. So this will be like a fast tour through all these tools that we have available for you. And my goal today is to start building a community where we can share what we know, what we use, how do we do our classes, and well, of course, don't worry about taking notes. I'll send you an email after this webinar. Probably tomorrow morning you'll receive an email from me with the presentation, so you'll have all the information, all the links, and you can review this on your time whenever you can. So let's start and let's see what we have today. And well, for the new ones, I'm going to do a short presentation about McNeil. So please, veterans and people that already know about this, you have like 5 minutes to go for a glass of water. And we're going to talk about what's inside Rhino, inside Rhino 7, why Rhino? And actually someone asked this question, why should I teach Rhino, not other software? So I think it's important, and I've added this to this presentation. We're also going to talk about the ecosystem, so you know where to look for things, where to look for a plugin, where to look for information about 3D printers or hardware or whatever you need. So I think this is really important also for your training. Where can you actually post your schedule and much more. And then we'll go to the main part and we'll go into the curriculum guide. We'll see some examples. We'll talk about the different tools that you have available right now. We'll go through a quick checklist. Last year, we did a super interesting presentation about online training. And I'm sure that a lot of you are teaching online, so this might be really useful. And then, because you asked for it, we'll talk about, obviously, certifications. We have, next month, we'll have a training for trainers workshop. We'll have also, well, we have already the exams available for you if you want to become an authorized Rhino trainer, an authorized Rhino training center. So we'll go through the requirements. And I know that some of you are managing now labs and you have students that are actually joining your class remotely. So we'll talk about the different licensing options and the benefits in any case. So finally, and just to end, we'll talk about how can you reach us, how can you contact us, and obviously we'll talk about our teachers community. So we have a lot, and let's start. I will turn off my camera, but I'll keep sharing the presentation. So Delia, Bernat, if you want, you can also, yes. So perfect, because this is a little bit distracting for me. So great, let's talk about McNeil. And for the new ones, McNeil is the company that develops Rhino. It has been privately held for 40 years. Our headquarters are in Seattle, but we have regional offices in Barcelona, in Miami. That is the one from Latin America. We're from the office in Barcelona, so we take care of Europe, Middle East, and Africa. We are around like 100 employees. We're not a huge company. We're divided into big groups, development and support. Bernat, Delia, and me work for providing support to all our customers from Europe, Middle East, and Africa. We have around the world 500 resellers. We have authorized Rhino training centers. I guess some of you are already authorized Rhino training centers. We also have OEMs, of course, a lot of partners, development partners, and interesting things. We develop our own like SDK, and it's public and available, also our geometry kernel. And this is the reason why a lot of people and a lot of our users and partners trust us. So for years, we've been developing our own tools to actually help in all the stages of our development. And that's something that is super important and that what makes us different from other companies that don't make it public. So let's talk about a little more about McNeil Europe. And if you've sent an email before, probably someone of us have answered you. And we have Delia. Delia takes care of the sales and the marketing. She's also the authorized Rhino trainer coordinator. Carlos is involved in the business development, and I guess you receive a lot of emails from them. Right now, he's running super interesting webinars related to Food for Rhino plugins. And then, well, I've already introduced Bernat, that is also part of the tech support team and training. Tamara is quite new, but she's doing great, and she's already answering a lot of your questions. And Daniel, Vane, and Giuseppe, they, besides helping us with tech support in English, Daniel helped us with tech support in German, Vane is in France, Giuseppe in Italy. I saw that a lot of people from Italy register, so I guess you already know Giuseppe. And also, a lot of people don't know this, but we also develop part of Rhino here in our office in Barcelona. So we have a development team. We also have Verena, that is in charge of the research projects, and it's also in charge of doing special trainings. And Julieta, who is our social media manager and is helping us a lot right now. We also have a localization team, and if you're from I don't know, Germany, you have the possibility to have Rhino interface in German. We have the documentation in German, also in Italian, in French, and other languages. If you are interested in helping us translate documentation, we can put you in contact with our team, and that's great. So let's move on. And just to end with this introduction or presentation, well, from what I see today, and because I see a lot of interest, I think that actually we're doing a great job with this. And our goal is to create teachers from every user, and that's what I see today here. So let's move on to why Rhino, and I'm going to check just see if there's some interesting questions about us, or I'll just continue. Quick check. So yeah, I know that a lot of you are from different countries and different regions, so I'll show you. I mean, like, I have the links to all the pages where you can ask if you're interested in becoming an authorized Rhino trainer in Brazil, in Latin America, or if you're interested in China or Australia. There's some emails and from my colleagues in the other regions that can help you with that. The requirements are the same, but you need to go through, you need to contact them. So, okay. Let's talk about why Rhino. And So Rhino is not just a 3D modeling tool. It's for design, it's for reverse engineering, it's used for 3D printing, CNC milling, simulation, prototyping, file repair, and in general, visualization, rendering. So it's you have like so many options inside Rhino, and you don't need to find other software to help you with that. Actually, you have all this inside inside Rhino, inside this program. And it is quite flexible, it is accurate, it is affordable. I mean, if we compare it to other, it's pretty accessible. And of course, you can communicate with Rhino because we have like a accessible API. So what else? On my personal opinion, things that I've mentioned before and that I really liked about Rhino is the possibility of using all these different options and start from a simple sketch and end up with a rendering using a single software. And also because it lets me build, and I don't know about you, but it lets me build my own tools and automate a lot of those processes that usually take me a lot of time. And well, I think I've mentioned already everything. Well, and also the ability to combine the tools you have with other plugins and extend them. And we'll talk about that in a second. So what's inside Rhino 7? And Rhino 7 is our latest version. It's quite new. And for me, it's the most significant upgrade in our history. It ships with really interesting tools as the sub-D tools, as the quad remesher. You have the possibility to also download the work in progress that will become in the future Rhino 8. If you're not using Rhino 7, you can go to our website, to rhino3.com, and on the download page, you'll find 2 links to download the evaluation so you can test everything that it's new. And I think a little later, I'll open Rhino and I'll show some tools that might be interesting when teaching. So we'll see some of those there. And Rhino ships with 2 other kind of products. One is Grasshopper and the other one is Kangaroo. Grasshopper is a graphical algorithm editor, and it's for visual programming. It's visual programming because it's not, you don't need to know how to code. Actually, it's quite simple. I think I'll show an example after this slide. And Kangaroo is another option that ships inside Rhino 7, that it's already there. You don't need to download from other website, and that might be interesting for you to know and also in the future to teach. And it's for interactive simulation, form finding, optimization, and constraint solving. So I asked before to all of the people that was joining the webinar, do you teach Grasshopper? And I was quite surprised that few of you were actually teaching Grasshopper. And it might look a little bit scary. It looks like this, but the way that I like to see it is I like to see this as a recipe. So in this case, you see all these little boxes and this is how it looks inside. You have a canvas. And on the left side, I have my inputs. I have these parameters for making coffee. In this case, I created a simple, really simple example to explain what Grasshopper is. And we have in the center a process, an operation infused. I'm not an expert with coffee, but I think that's the term. And I have an output, and my output in this case is, well, black coffee, let's say it. But what happens if I add more water? The process will be kind of the same, but at the end, my output will be completely different. So in that case, probably if I add more water, it will be like an Americano. And that's how I like, and I like to explain what Grasshopper is with really simple examples. When teaching Grasshopper, I suggest to teach with real problems, things that actually you will not be able to solve with Rhino, but you can actually do in a much faster way with Grasshopper. And someone else also asked about the origin of Grasshopper, and this can be attributed to the record history in Rhino 4. And, and the record history button allows you to implicitly save modeling operations while working. And back in 2008, David Rutten, my colleague, that is a developer of Grasshopper, asked himself, like, what if we could implicitly have more control over this history? And that's how explicit history, the first version of Grasshopper, was born. And well, it was with the intention to expose this chronology of operations and edit them in detail, as you can actually see here with my simple example. What else do we have in Rhino 7? And we have the possibility to use Rhino inside Revit. So, okay, Carla, what's Rhino Inside? And Rhino Inside is a new technology that we've developed that allows Rhino and Grasshopper to be embedded within other products. Other 64-bit operations, and actually we have this one that is for Revit. So in simple words, Rhino Inside Revit is an add-on for Revit. So if you're in, I know that a lot of you are teaching in architects, future architects, so this might be really interesting because it's changing the workflow for a lot of them. And I'm sure that in the future, they will, companies, and I see it now, they start looking for people that know how to use Rhino inside Revit and know how to use Grasshopper and some other plugins. So, okay. I'll finish with this. We are happy to say that we have like more than 500,000 Rhino users. We have more than 1,000 development partners, and we have more than 1,000 apps and resources available for you that extend the possibilities of Rhino. And I'll go through some examples of different markets that use Rhino. For example, jewelry. We have product design, and now we're in the boom of the wearables. So I see a lot of companies designing, and I know that a lot of you are product design teachers. So this might be an interesting assignment. More product design, footwear design. This is done with Grasshopper. Also fashion, because in the last year, a lot has changed. And for the fashion industry, they don't have the chance to do the showrooms and the runways as they were used to. So right now they're trying to show their collection on 3D, and it's interesting. It's a great opportunity for you also to teach to people that are studying fashion design. Of course, interior design, architecture, all of this are pictures, projects done with Rhino, some of them with Grasshopper too. And of course, like everything is final, there are no renderings. Also for art, and this was an exhibition here in Barcelona from Rhino Help. He's a mathematician and also a Rhino teacher and reseller. We have more art, marine design. Sorry, I'm jumping here. Automotive design. And okay, I'll just go to check if there's any question, something here that I might answer. Or feel free, Bernat and Delia, to interrupt me if you need to. But if not, I'll continue. Yes, great. So where should I look for? And that's a big question, right? So we'll talk about our ecosystem now. And I'll talk about Food for Rhino, this course, the development platform, where can you find training and events, our research project, and of course, our latest news. I'll go one by one. And the first one, I'll try to open. This is Food for Rhino. Don't worry about writing the URL or anything, the website, because I'll share this presentation with you. But here you can find all the different plugins and resources for Rhino and Grasshopper. You can also find scripts, textures, and a lot more. Right now, I'm working with adding more resources. So now you have advanced display modes, you have hatch patterns, and a lot more. And I mean, like if you're interested or if you're teaching architecture, I'm sure that you can filter the ones that are for architecture and you'll find a lot of extra possibilities here. Someone asked me, now that I see Ladybug, someone asked about well, a plugin for lighting design, and I will suggest to check the Ladybug tools. It might be interesting for lighting studies. And it's really sad because we did like an amazing training last year and there was a lot of interest, but I also suggest to check this. And of course, like Carlos, my colleague, is also doing a Food for Rhino webinar series on our YouTube channel. So if you're interested in knowing a little bit more, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll be notified for the future webinars that we're doing. And also check our blog and our splash screen when opening Rhino, because they're all announced there. And what else? I'll go back to the presentation and let's talk now about this course. And I don't know if I can close this, minimize. It's really annoying to have it on top, but it's okay. So this course is it's McNeil's Forums. Here, feel free to ask any question, simple, complex. We have different categories. I mean, like for each of our products, for Rhino, for Grasshopper, if it's a question related to the zoo or to the cloud zoo, a section about development. And a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I created a new category that is Rhino teachers. And I'll talk about that in a while, but it's here. And what else? There's something really interesting that people actually don't use much, and it's the jobs and portfolio section. So we have a gallery, and right now you can start posting your projects, or you can ask your students to post their projects here and start creating their own portfolio inside this course. And of course, like, well, we post some job offers here, looking for, well, computational designers. And so take a look at this, create your profile, build your portfolios, and interact with other users. You'll be surprised because we have a really active community, and that is something that I really liked about Rhino, because I've always got an email back, a reply from their team or from other user. And just to end with this, we have, I wanted to look for, we have the Serengeti section. So if you're interested in our development, if you want to know what we're working on, if you want to add some wish, something that might be useful, do it here. Post a new topic, create a new topic and ask for it, or you know, you can already see that here we have some wishes and questions about things that are quite new about SAP or well, there's also like the link to, I think here, if we open, we have the link where we invite everyone to download Rhino 8, the work in progress, and go reporting any problem or any wish. So I invite you to visit our forums and create your own profile. Let's move on to our development platform. And I'm going to check just a second, see if there's something on the chat. Okay. Great. I think my team, thanks Bernat, thanks Delia for answering everything. And well, let's talk about our development platform. And here is where you'll find all the documentation for creating an app if you're interested. Also, we have some guides and general information if you're interested in how we develop Rhino. Actually, this article is one of the best to understand how we work and why is this like a cycle, because we are always asking for feedback and we're listening to all our users, and then we start developing our own tools based on that and the new ones. So we're constantly like on this cycle. So if you want to check this out, or if you want create your own plugin or app, just come here. We also have a link to our forum and the way to contact our developers. And we also have we're completely open. So if, well, the situation changes and you want to come to our office and work with us on your own development, you'll have our developers next to you and you'll be able to ask any question. So that's also an option if you're interested. And let's talk about training. And I'll go back to Food for Rhino, actually, because we have a new section. Not new, we have this section since last year, but here you'll find all the different webinars, online training, and we invite you to share here with our community your workshops, your whatever you're doing. So you can, if you have a Rhino account, you can log in, you can create the event, send us an email so we can check and we can publish it here. It's by date. You can actually say in which language and the cost. And then if you click, you'll have a little more information about what's going on. So take a look at this, and there's always something interesting. And if not, like, feel free to share with our community what you're doing. What else? We're also part of a research consortium of many universities, research institution, companies, and well, I put here some examples of some of the projects that we've been involved in. So if you're interested, you can click on them, you can see what the project was about. And also every once in a while we do like short demos, or we invite people to see the results of this whole research. So each project is quite interesting, and it might give you some ideas for future developments or things that you might want to explain or to your students. So let's move on to the end of this ecosystem, and it's where can I find the latest news? What's going on? What projects are being done with Rhino? What's new? Check our videos, tutorials. So we have YouTube, we have LinkedIn, we have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we have everything. And the most important, we also have the blog. So if you go to our website, to rhino3d.com, and you go to news, you'll be directed to our blog that has all the information. And actually it's what appears on the splash screen. And it's things happening online and everywhere around the world. So this is also a really interesting option for you if you're doing some special training, to announce it there, of course. And well, that was what I wanted to share about our ecosystem. I'll check again if there's some question. I think we're okay. Perfect. And if not, like at the end, we can open all microphones and maybe we can talk, but just interrupt me if you need to. So let's talk now about the curriculum guide. So I'll open the link, and this is a document that Bob Knoll and Scott Davidson put together. with a lot of information, documentation, everything we had. Some of this information is a little bit old, but still it will give you a great structure for your classes. Don't worry about taking notes of the link or anything, because I'll share the presentation with you, as I mentioned at the beginning. So, well, we have a link to the getting started that actually are this set of videos that I think twice a month we record the sessions. And we also have like a classroom setup that, well, we want to know a little more about what do you have on your labs if you're a university, if you have like fabrication machines, what machine are you using? And we try to link the documentation of each machine. So if you're planning on buying one of those, you'll find it here. This document should be seen as a work in progress, in the sense that you can actually edit this, you can add information, because as you can see, we don't have links for everything, and it will be impossible for us to spend so much time, you know, filling all this. So please share information with us. Tell us how are you doing your class? What do you use? We also share, I see here like a link to Inkscape, and it's something that I use. It's like Illustrator, but it's open source, it's free, and you can download on your universities, on your classes, and it's really great. Then we have also the curriculum approach. So if you go here, number 3 is we have 2 options. Of course, feel free to teach Rhino as you want. But if you don't have, if you're new and you don't have a general idea, or you don't want to spend too much time thinking on how to do it, this might be a great example. So we have 2 different approaches. One that is a skill-based, that of course is more structured. It will teach your students, you will teach your students to use all the commands, how they work. And at the end, you will start doing projects. And there is another approach that is project-based. So your students will go learning while they are involved in some kind of project. So I'll scroll a little bit down to go to that part. And here, as you can see, well, this is based on the Rhino level 1 training. So it tells you, well, week 1, you should teach this to your students, chapter 2 and chapter 3, if you are on the skill-based, if you want to take the skill-based approach. So you have this as a reference, and it's really valuable, really handy to have it. And if you want to go more technical, if you want to develop projects and go with your students, you have also like what to do on day 1, what to do on day 2, how to organize the activities. This is great. Even now, if we're teaching online, I mean, like we can generate breakout rooms, we can make so many things with this different software. And I think I'll add this topic to our forum, like what do you use for teaching online? And it might be interesting to share what we do and what platforms we use, and the different options, just to compare and choose between this range of possibilities. And you have everything on this document. You have the material. Also, if you have like a class, I don't know, you have students that already know 3D modeling, that are coming from different software, then you can move to something that is a little bit more advanced. But if you have like another group that is completely new to 3D modeling, well, you have a basic level and what to do on each one. So this is great. Also, I mean, this part, like the grading, is more for high school, university. But if you don't have any idea of how to grade this, this might be really helpful. And of course, you have, if they're new to Rhino, what they can model. If they're intermediate, you have like some ideas and things that are more complex. So this document, I'll leave you the link so you can go and click everything and check each one of the, because it gives you suggestions for assignments, homework. If you want to go and do the 15-week skill-based lessons, it will tell you how to do it, how to approach this. So, and I think it's in different languages. Yeah. For example, I know that some of you are from Spain or South America, so here you have it in Spanish too. And feel free to edit. As I mentioned before, this should be seen as a work in progress. So let's work together on this. And now let's go to the resources. And give me a second, I'll check chat. Bernat, Delia, do you have any questions, something to share?
It's okay. People are asking if we're gonna share the presentation and things like that, but it's just fine. I don't think there's any open question. Bernat, is that what you think too?
Yeah, everything is under control so far.
Thank you. I love my team. So now let's move to these resources. And the first one, of course, are the user guides. I'll open them. And what happens? We have a lot of teachers that know Rhino for Windows, but are kind of new to the Mac interface. So this is really handy, and you can print it, you can have it on your computer as a PDF. And I mean, the Mac and the Windows interface are not completely different, but to find some commands, you need to be aware that you might find them on different menus. And so it will be helpful to have it downloaded on your computer. And if you have a student running Rhino for Mac, just go to this guide and check where to find that command or whatever you're teaching. So this is great. And at the end, it has like this different tutorials. So it will go step by step on how to create this toy. So you can do and teach that to your students. There are some examples. So check this out. It will also appear on Rhino, and later I'll show you where to find this, because you can actually open the 3DM file in Rhino and start with modeling this toy or the tutorial that you're following. And okay, so let's move to, and also our user guides are translated, so you'll find them in different languages, in Spanish, German, and more. So it shouldn't be a problem. And the next resource or tool is the level 1 and level 2 training guides. I wanted to surprise you saying that we had both versions updated to Rhino 7, but we're still working on this, and I hope that really soon I'll be able to post a new topic at this course and let you know that we have the Rhino level 1, the Rhino level 2 for Rhino 7, including sub-D quality measure, but still like this level 1 and level 2 are really helpful. I'll open level 1. If you haven't seen this before, it also has like a training guide, and it will tell you, well, I mean, we ask all our authorized Rhino trainers to teach the level 1 in at least 24 hours. It cannot be less than that. So here is like a schedule A for 3 days and how you go through the different sections. And if you want to do it in 6 days, well, it will give you an idea of how to do your classes. So you have this two, the level 1 and the level 2, and for sure, as soon as my localization team tells me that the level 1 and level 2 are available, I'll share them with you on the forum. So let's move on to the help, and the help has the new in Rhino 7. So it has the information about the new commands. I think someone asked like, where can I find the new commands in Rhino 7? So here you can go and you can check each one of them. I think I have the quadri measure. Yeah. Well, I'll open, for example, this one to show you. And I really like this help because it's the first time that I think that it's really user-friendly in the sense that you have these little GIFs that show you how the command works, what you can do, and the different command line options. So it has a lot of details. And we plan in the future to do a session that will be more technical for teachers, for our authorized Rhino trainers, on what's new in Rhino 7. So we'll cover sub-D, quadri measure, and all these new tools in detail. It will probably be 2 or 3 days like we did with Rhino 6. And of course, I'll let you know through the forum so you can join us. And let's move on to the essential mathematics. And well, I mean, this document is great. You can download the PDF from here. And if you want to learn or if you want to teach the main difference between 3D modeling and algorithm modeling, here you have all the information. It talks about vectors, why we need them, the difference between vectors and points. And if you scroll down, you'll find like this amazing tutorials that are really graphic and that it actually, everything is explained using Grasshopper too. So it might be a great introduction to your students. Everything is free. All the information is here. So feel free to download the PDF and go through the content. If you have like any question, this was done by Raja. And well, I mean, like, for me, it's an amazing guide for everyone interested and for teaching the basics of computational design. So now let's see what else we have here. And we have the Rhino 3D Education. This website is done by our team in Latin America, in Miami, McNeil, Miami. And I want to show you what they have available. So if you're interested in learning Python, if you want the introduction, there are like a lot of workshops, courses, videos are completely free. And you have all of this Rhino 6 and Rhino 7 introduction already. Of course, the essential mathematics and a lot more. I suggest if you want to start teaching Grasshopper and your students are starting university, this might be really interesting. And it's like how to introduce Grasshopper using this pseudo-hopper 3D game. And it's free. You can download from here and you can start teaching Grasshopper with it. What else? They also have like podcasts and webinars. So there are some about like sub-D. You can watch them here. So I'll leave you the link and you can visit and join them. I think everything is already recorded, so it's not on a specific time or session. You can already watch it. And just to end with this first slide of resources, we have the Rhino Education. I don't know if you're like high school teachers, but this is more focused on secondary high school teachers. So for schools, and you can create your little profile. You can join as a member. You can add, I'm here. You can add what you do. I share, well, some of the presentations that I've done on universities. I also share some video tutorials, introductions, and you can check the videos. The videos, I think some of them are about sub-D, about Grasshopper. There's a lot of material, and something really interesting is that also teachers share what they are doing on their class, and that might give you ideas. So, and it also links to our curriculum guide, to the one that I mentioned before. So everything is kind of connected. And okay, I'll check if there's any question from this first part. Perfect. So I see a little technical problems there, but just jump in if you don't see me or hear me, if you lose me. And just a second. So what other tools do we have? And we have, well, we have a Vimeo channel and we have two YouTube channels. So the Vimeo channel has been there for a long time, but we still upload all our videos. It's quite new because it has like hops component. This is completely new. If you're interested, if you already know Grasshopper, if you're a developer, you can check this out. And we have also tutorials, and it's for all levels, like people starting and people that are already advanced. So this will give you also ideas. And our other two YouTube channels, one is Rhino 3D. Here you'll find the getting started sessions for Mac and also for Windows. So check that out. And for the ones of you that might be interested in learning or teaching Grasshopper, I suggest watching this playlist. It's Grasshopper Basics with David Rotten, its developer. And it will explain you step by step what Grasshopper is and how it works. And well, we have a lot more that you can check, and also the videos for the essential mathematics. And what's the difference between this channel and the McNeil Europe channel? The McNeil Europe channel has content that I'll click on one of these videos. It has description in the different languages, in Italian and Spanish, and German and French. So, and usually we do like short tips and tricks. And we also have the Food for Rhino webinars. Don't miss those, because you can learn a little more about different plugins. And also, if you go to, I think if you add, it's our YouTube channel, it's youtube.com McNeil Europe. And if I do, sorry, I need to do a slash here. Like, you can find the next one, and this will be live in 6 days. If you want, you can set a reminder, subscribe to our channel so you'll be notified about the future ones. And I mean, this is great. This is pretty awesome. And lately I see more and more teachers, not only teaching Rhino, but also teaching some other plugin. And this is, well, for architects and designers, so you might be interested, a lot of you. I'll go back to the YouTube channel. Well, we have like the different videos, different playlists. We have content of webinars that were done by Giuseppe in Italian here, a French playlist, and some of Grasshopper. Also about licensing, like simple ways to set the SU or create Cloud SU teams. So you'll find it on the McNeil Europe channel, and that's mainly the difference between one and the other. One is more tutorials, the other is more webinars, tips and tricks, and content in different languages. What next? And this is our teachers community. This is quite new, and kind of my goal today, to start with you building this community of teachers. So probably tomorrow I'll create a couple of new topics. You can create a new topic here. First, you'll have to create your profile, and you can put any image. And then you can tell us what you are doing, what you teach, any interesting event that you're doing at your university. I will ask what are you using for teaching online? Actually, I can share that with you. We've been using Zoom webinars, and also we've been using GoToWebinar. And I've tried Teams too, and they're a little bit different, and they have like pretty much the same. But I want to know what you use, what do you recommend, what you have tried, and share that information with all our community. I will also ask, what do you have in your labs? If you have, what kind of 3D printers. So if in the future you're interested in buying some fabrication machine, you can contact one of these teachers and ask them how do they set this up, how it works, and if you have like any question, that just put you in contact. Also, I'll use this category from now on to share our training for trainers, our future workshops, and everything that we'll be doing. So right now, I just share with you the information about certifications, and well, this is for everyone. This is open. So my colleagues from North America or Latin America or China will interact with you in case you need more information from those regions. And please, like, help me populate this with valuable information for all. And okay, let's talk about tech support. Like, well, my day-to-day, and Bernard, Delia, Daniel, Tamara, that are also here, we all do tech support. And I get questions from a lot of students, and they actually tell me at the end, oh, I'll let my teacher know. So if you have like any question, or if one of your students asks you for something that you don't know, go to our website, to Rhino 3D, and we have a support page. Here, you'll find a link to frequently asked questions and also to our wiki articles. And this is great. This, I mean, you can search by product, and you have like a lot. You can actually ask here and search for templates, some kind of problem during the installation, everything. And it's in English and German, Spanish and Italian, in all languages. You can check more about the Cloud Zoo if you're interested in this new licensing option. You'll find the requirements, everything here. So, I mean, like, this is really, really valuable. And if I go back, you'll also find our email. If you cannot find it here, if you cannot find it at this course, if you cannot find an answer, like, of course, please contact us. Let us know what's the problem and how can we help. There's more about licenses, about legacy keys, and of course, like for Windows, for Mac, and more information that might be really helpful for you. And just to end and to stop looking at this presentation, well, here you'll find what is new in Rhino 7. And I will open Rhino 7 to show you a couple of things that might be really helpful if you're a teacher. And the first one, if you don't have Rhino 7, you can download the evaluation from our website. And if not, like, as you can see, the interface is pretty much the same. And here on the right side, actually, you can open the different panels, and I'll show you two that I ask when I'm doing some kind of workshop or training. I ask students or people that are joining to have. And the first one is the help that is here, and the other one is the tutorials. So I have them open. The help is here, and if I start running any command, for example, I'll use this one. It will tell me what command am I using. It will. It has like a little GIF that explains me where to click, how it works, the command line options, as I mentioned before, and I mean everything. Like if you go to the new in Rhino 7 and you go to sub-T to create work with a primitive, see, it will update. And this is the information that you also find on our help and that you can download, but it will give you like a lot of detail. So ask your students to open and have this panel when they are working. So if they have any question, they will see how it works. And the other one is the tutorials panel. And from here, you can download any exercise that appear on our level 1, level 2, and also on our users guide. So you just double click and it will open. And what else? I'm going to, I'll open something that it's new in Rhino 7, and it's called Layer Book. And I think this is great for teachers. Yeah, it looks a little bit strange. It's an example. But if I go to the new in Rhino 7 and I click the Layer Book command, it will go one by one through these layers as pages of a book. So if I click here on the command line next, it will jump to the second one. It has a plus because it's adding something to the first layer. I click next again, and well, I will have this different drawings appearing. If it doesn't have a plus, as you can see now, it won't add anything to that layer. It will just change color to gray. But I mean, probably this is not the best example, but at least it helps me explain you how it works. But you can actually have text here, so you can tell your students what to do. And I see this like an option for more interactive learning for your classes. And actually, like before this, we all work, I think, with templates for our students. So we created a template, and we have this template installed in all our computers. So we open the same layers, we have the same document properties. And right now we were looking for something more interactive for teachers. So I think this might be a really interesting option to explore for your classes. So play with it. If you go to our website, to the new in Rhino 7, and you scroll a little bit down, I think you'll find the information of the layer book. See, like, well, here, maybe this explains it a little bit better. But you can actually add text here and tell your students what to do step by step. And if you want to download a 3D model as an example, or the instructions to work with, you can do it from our website. Everything is here. And how are we? We have a little more time, but we're almost finishing. So I'll move to something that might be, I don't know how to minimize this. I'll move the Zoom webinar options. Yeah, perfect. So now a couple of things that might be helpful. If you go to Tools Options, or in Rhino for Mac, if you go to Rhino Zero's Preferences, you'll find, well, the general, the different menus and general options for Rhino. So if you have problems with your licenses, you can go to a license menu. If you want to check plugins, if you want to add more display modes, you can do it here. You can manage almost every option from Rhino here. And also the document properties. If you want to create a template and you want all your students on your class to open the same template, you can actually create one, save it, files, save as template, and then on files, you can look for it, and you can have it as default. So every time they open Rhino, they will have that template, and you will all start from the same, with the same units and with the same layers and notes if you need to. So this is really helpful. And just to end, if you go to help, well, I mean, like a lot of the problems can be solved just by running updates, because all the bugs, everything that is not working properly, that it's reported, once it's fixed, it comes as a new service release. So ask your students to update, to have Rhino updated. And the second thing, if you cannot solve this, and if you need to send us information because you're having trouble, go help system information, and this report will open with everything we need. I mean, it tells you what version of Rhino, what service release are you using. If you're using the Cloud Studio, if you're on Windows 10, it will give me all the information about your graphic card, drivers, and a lot more. Also about the plugins that you have installed. And so you can save it, you can send it to us with a little video or description of the problem. Screenshots might be helpful too. So let's move on, and we'll go to, well, last year, as I mentioned, I don't know if I can, okay, sorry. Yes, we're here. So I'll move the Zoom options to the upper part, just a second. Great. So last year we did this session because a lot of our teachers started teaching online for the first time. And we did this as a checklist. So I'll go really fast and I'll ask my colleague Mary if I can share that recording with you. So if you're doing this online, I mean, you should watch that webinar that we did last year. And if not, you will have this checklist that I'll send to you. So really important, like know your students, what do they need? Pick a training software, and that's what I'm going to ask you on our forum. And there you'll find options that are free. If you want to charge, do you know that training software will be able to collect these fees? I mean, this works as a checklist for you. Then who will teach? Will you need an assistant? Will you need help to answer the chat? Because sometimes when you're talking, you cannot stop constantly to check if there's a question. So that's something interesting and really important to ask yourself when doing something. And I marked this in red because I think this is really, really important. And the first is to do an orientation session where you can know each other, where you can present yourself and ask your students to tell you what they are looking for, what they want to learn, and get to know them a little bit more. And also a post session where you can have like an open discussion and they can ask you questions. And of course, this is really helpful because if you want to record your sessions, at least you know that the orientation session and the post session will be deleted from those recordings. So it will be better to have them separate. And this is actually something that Bernat does for the training for trainers. He does like a presentation.
Virtual coffee.
Exactly, a virtual coffee just to know each one of you and to ask what you're doing. So this is really helpful. And following with this checklist is how to promote. Like you need to send emails. Will you do it on social media? And really important, I marked this because you have the option to add these events to the Food for Rhino page. And of course, if you're an authorized Rhino trainer, your schedule, your information, it will appear on our website. So this is the checklist. And well, here the suggested hardware. And this can be replaced, like it doesn't need to be like a second monitor. It can be an iPad, your phone, so you can watch the class and on the other one work. I mean, like if you can have two computers and that will be great, but I will suggest to have like a second screen to follow the class. So you can share this with your online students. And okay, so we're almost ending and we'll talk about our certifications. And I mean, like what else can you offer to your students? And actually, for me, this is really important, and this is the reason why they will choose doing some training with you instead of other teacher, and it's the option to be certified by us. So we have an exam, a level 1 and level 2 exam in different languages. And if you're not certified, please take the exam. It's based on our training guides, and you'll end up with this official certificate that we give to you. And it's something as a bonus that you can offer to your students that will make you different and might be really helpful when looking for a job for them and well, whatever. So training for trainers. And Bernat, I don't know if you want to talk about this because you're kind of in charge of the next one that is next month, in less than a month.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't mind, I'll just interrupt.
Sure.
So next month we're having this workshop as a training for trainers. That's one of the requirements to be an authorized Rhino trainer. So you have to join us to this workshop. It used to be in our Barcelona office, so not anymore, unfortunately. So we cannot meet you in person, but we're doing everything online. We've changed the format a little bit. It's not 2 full days, so it's 3 mornings. It has a cost. It's 2,295 euros plus taxes. And we will cover all the basic stuff you must know to teach Rhino to your students. It's not an in-depth training of Rhino. It's more touching all the bases again. So you have everything clear. You have a proper foundation, and from there you can prepare your own training. I have to say, I'm in charge of the European, Middle East, and Africa region. So if you're from a different region, you can also contact me. So my email is bernat@macneil.com. It's written on the screen, and I can direct you to the person in charge of your area. If there's no training available right now, we will also honor your trainings from different regions. So just make sure to contact me if you have any other question. I'll send you all the registration links and everything. We can set up a virtual coffee. So at least even if we don't meet in person, we meet online and we know each other, what your expertise and everything. So feel free to join our training. It starts June 9th. So it's in less than a month. So hurry up.
So thank you, Bernat. I will go back just for a second because I missed something. I didn't click on the certification information. You have a link here with everything. Actually, there's Delia's email there too, if you have like any question. Because I mean, of course, you might have like a lot of questions about the exam, right? So it's 100 questions. You have like 90 minutes to complete this on our online platform. And here's the cost. And also something really important is that you can take an optional free 20-question practice test here. So if you want to test it, just go click on the link of my presentation and you'll be directed to all the information and also for your region. So, well, Bernat explained that, and now here's a quick checklist and the requirements for becoming an authorized Rhino trainer. So if you're interested and you are not an authorized trainer, you need 2 years of modeling experience. You need to have a Rhino 7 license. We expect you to teach with the latest version available. And you need to be, of course, completely familiarized with the level 1 and the level 2 training guides. You need to pass the exam and obtain the certificate. And we ask for a video because since we cannot meet, I mean, in our office, we cannot have you here due to the current situation, it would be nice to know how you teach. And it doesn't need to be long. It can be 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Bernat, jump in if you want.
Yeah, if I may add, it's okay if it's not in English. So if you prepare your video tutorial in Italian, in Russian, whatever, it's completely fine. You can either choose a video tutorial or a written tutorial. I much prefer video, so I see how you teach and the way you explain the subject you focus. You don't have to give a course. Just think of an exercise and follow it, and maybe 5 to 10 minutes is more than enough. So it's not that scary at all.
Great. And now, if you want to become an authorized Rhino training center, of course, here, different requirements. You need to be a school, a college, a training academy. It can be something online. You need to have an authorized Rhino trainer on your team, for sure. So that's also an option for authorized Rhino trainers that are looking for a job. Look for an authorized training center because they might hire you, they need you. And you need to have a training webpage with a schedule. You have to have a lab license, a 30-seat license. And of course, like offer the level 1, level 2 based on our training guides. And the minimum that we ask for is 24 hours of training. It cannot be less than that. So, but of course you can do it longer, you can do it in month or whatever, and you can not only teach level 1, level 2, but you can also create your own customized courses, including something more specific for jewelry or architecture, design, shoe design, what you are teaching. So these are the requirements. And we're almost at the end of this. That's great because we'll have a little bit of time for you to ask. And okay, if you're a teacher, and I've been asked by different teachers in the last year because they were teaching online and helping their students about a lot about licensing. And some of you asked before joining the session. So for education, we have 3 types of license. We have the single user, we have the lab license that is for 30 users, and we have something special that is the school kit, that is a lab license plus extra single user license, 50, 100, and they have like a special price. So if your university, if your school is interested, please ask Delia, and if not, we can put you in touch with the corresponding region if you want to have this option. Have in mind that all our licenses are permanent. They won't expire. And if a student or you, I mean, if you today you're teaching and you buy Rhino 7, even if you stop teaching, if you start working on your own and doing design projects, you can keep using your educational license, and also for your students. If they buy this license while they are studying, it will not expire. So we don't charge for tech support. You can always send us an email, and we also have the amazing forum and wiki where you can find all the information you need. And just to end, I mean, like this will go to you. So if you have like any question, if your students are running a single user or an evaluation license, I mean, the question is, do you have more than one computer? If they have more than one computer, then I suggest using the Cloud Soup. And if they have just one computer, the single computer licensing. It's super simple. You install Rhino, enter the license key, and you forget. You don't have to log in. You don't have to do anything more forever. And the Cloud Soup is great because if you travel, if you go to class, but also need to work from home, you can log in from the work computer or from your house, your personal laptop. So these are the 2 options for single user and evaluation licenses. And for 30 user labs, we have 2 options. We have the Lansu and we have the Cloudsu team. The question here is, are you teaching remotely? If you're teaching remotely, I will suggest to go for the Cloudsu team. If you don't want to have a more complex way of setting this up, because then you'll have to make sure that you can access through VPN and more. So if you don't want to worry about that, you just leave all this set up to us, use the Cloud Soup. But if you're going and doing classes presentially, I will strongly recommend to use the Lens Soup. So here are all the information and the links. And well, this is almost the end. Again, our teachers community, and I really would like to see what you're doing. Share with us pictures of your projects. I wanted to ask, actually, I know some of teachers around Europe, Middle East, and one of them, Jose Carrillo, and I was going to ask him from the American University in Dubai. I was going to ask him to share with us here the project he did. I think I have it. He shared this with me, Architable, and he teaches Grasshopper. Sorry, I'll take the audio. He teaches Grasshopper to architecture students. And well, this course is it's making well, they like their students learn how to use Grasshopper while doing this interesting project, and they need to, well, it looks like architecture, but it's eatable. So they have also a team that is that will actually evaluate at the end of the session. As you can see, here is Rhino. This is a presentation. And I want to see more of this, what you are doing, give ideas to each other. You're in different countries, talk to each other, ask, how do you do it? How did it started? Jose Carrillo it's super open, and he will tell you how he does this and how long does it take and how he prepares his classes. So I want to see this kind of things shared in our community. And well, I think we got to the end of the presentation 15 minutes before. That's great. And so if you have to do something else, or if you want to stay a little more, ask any question, I think this is the right time. Thank you. And really, like, my goal today, help me populate this with useful information for you, and share what you know and how you are doing it, and nothing. So I'll check the chat and see if there's any question. And
thank you, Carla. Yeah, well, there are no open questions in the chat right now, so I don't know if there's anyone that wants to maybe open the microphone or write any questions. So I think the most frequently asked question today is, are we going to share the presentation? Yes, we're going to share the presentation. For those of you that came just a few minutes after we started, Carla will be sending you, as soon as she can, the presentation. We're also recording the session. We will see how good it is, because sometimes video recording doesn't turn out so right. So we might need to edit it a little bit. But if it is good enough, then we will also most likely share the recorded session. And as I say, I don't think there's any open questions, Carla. So thank you so much. Unless someone wants to just post last question. This is like the last call. Otherwise, we can maybe close the session now.
Yes, great. So yeah, thank you, Delia. Thank you, Bernard, for
You're
helping
welcome.
me with the chat. And we plan on doing more of this session. So let me know what information you want, and we can try to prepare something for you. And if not, we can, if you know some colleague that would like to join in the future or was not able to join us today, let them know that we'll do more of this in the future. So thank you, and well, we'll stay in touch, and you'll receive an email from me quite soon with all the links and everything. Let me know what you think. That's all. Thank you, and have a great evening, morning, wherever you are. Goodbye.
Bye.